Hello everybody, I am Lovable Hatsune Miku, and in today's video I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been bugging me for a while now, kind of like a couple of days, maybe a week or so, but it is something I do like to think about from time to time, and it's kind of an interesting question regardless of how you look at it. You guys might think this might be a good thing to talk about or a negative thing to talk about, but today's topic is about what am I going to do with my personal belongings once I pass on? And I know that sounds like a very dumb and stupid question to ask, because most of you would just say, oh well, just give it to someone or just get rid of it. Give it to an auction. If I could, I would, but there is one problem with my situation. And as much as I would love to do that, the problem is with my situation is that I don't trust people, number one, and I don't trust anyone with some of my most personal, precious belongings. And that's kind of the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is knowing what to do with your stuff and how you can get around this obstacle, because it's bugging me a lot and I really don't know what to do. And let me try and explain it to you. Every time I buy, let's say this type of this Miku figure, I ordered it in last month, I believe, and it arrived early and I was very happy. And same with these ones, I got these at Hot Topic. It's like stuff like this, anytime I buy a Vocaloid merch, or let's say that cup, or that stuff in the back, or the Switch, or whatever, mostly Vocaloid and anime stuff, and it's mostly the Vocaloid stuff that makes me think about this. I don't know why, it's always the Vocaloid stuff, but whenever I buy something like this, and I know I have a problem, trust me, if you have not seen my video where I show off my whole Vocaloid collection, that was a while ago, though it's gotten way bigger, I suggest you watch that video because I do have a lot of Vocaloid merch. But whenever I buy more Vocaloid merch, or let's say anime merch, more figures or whatever, I always ask myself when I buy it, I'm like, what am I going to do with this stuff once I'm, gone? And something I always ask myself every time I buy something, I know I have a lot, I know I don't really need it, but I always end up buying it. Even with this little Miku wall, it's adorable. I already have one though, but this one's a newer one, but I bought it anyways. It's stuff like this. I'm like, what am I really gonna do with this? Do I really need it, kind of type of thing? Even though I know I don't really need it, I bought another one because I just wanted one in case the other one got really wrecked. And even stuff like this, even Pokemon plushies, these two. I know I don't really need them, but I wanted them because Sylveon and Glaceon are so adorable. Glaceon is my favorite out of all the Eevee evolutions, and I just really wanted it. But I always ask myself, what am I going to do with this stuff once I'm, gone? And it's something I always struggle with because I don't know the answer. Some of you are probably going to say, well, just give it to someone. I would if I could trust people. And I'm not saying I don't trust people. I can trust my friends, but even if I do trust my friends, I will never trust them with personal belongings like Vocaloid, anime, stuff like that. I don't know why, but for some reason, when it comes to thinking about what's gonna happen to this, who is this going to go to when I'm, dead someday, it just gets into such an emotional roller coaster that I just can't decide. And really, it's so hard to talk about because I really don't know how to explain it to people. Let's say, let me get this girl for a second. Let's say I died and I didn't know who to give this to. This is my Miku plushie. She is very special to me. I've had her for a while now, a couple of years now. I think I got her in 2016, and she is very special to me. She is something that is always sitting on my bed. I sleep with it every night, and I honestly love this thing to death. And I always question, who are you going to go to someday? When you're, when I'm gone, who is your next owner going to be? And same with, hold on, let me get her. Same with this one. This was the first Vocaloid merch I ever got. My old best friend gave this to me. This is what made me start getting into collecting Vocaloid. This is the plushie that started it all, and I always wonder, like, what am I going to do with you when I'm dead someday? And it's really sad. Some of you might be saying, well, why are you thinking about that? You're so young. But the problem is, anything could happen. Like, you could die any day, and the problem with me is I always like to be prepared. Like, I would like to die knowing that my stuff is going to go to a good place. Someone's going to take care of it. It's going to be kept in good condition. It's not going to get, like, thrown around like a piece of crap. Because trust me, I take very good care of my stuff. Like, honestly, if you disrespect or misplace my stuff, I will get very, very mad at you. And some of you might be saying, well, it's just stuff. Like, who cares? To me, this stuff, it's more than just stuff. This is stuff that makes me so happy in life. This is the stuff I'm always going to rely on when I have no one by my side, when I have 0 friends, when I'm just at my lowest point in life. Especially the Vocaloid merch. For some reason, I just can't part with my Vocaloid merch. I don't trust anyone with it. I don't want anyone to own my Vocaloid merch. And some of you might be saying, well, you're just being greedy or selfish or a total bitch. Call me whatever you want, but it's just the way I am. And this is why I'm talking to you guys about this now. Because this is the problem I have. And I'm so sick of it. Like, it's not like I don't love my Vocaloid merch and stuff. I absolutely love having this stuff. Like, I love my anime figures. I love my Vocaloid figures. Like, even, see, I got more of it up there if you guys can see. See? I even got, like, Vocaloid books over there and a calendar and stuff, like, for Pete's sake. Like, I just love to buy this type of stuff, like anime figures and stuff. But the more I buy, the more I question, like, what the hell am I going to do with this stuff later on? Because I don't have anyone I want to give it to. And yes, I do trust my best friends, but even if I do trust my best friends, that doesn't mean I don't trust them with my stuff. And I know it sounds really confusing. It sounds like dumb. It's like, well, you trust your best friend, right? But why don't you want to give it to them? Because it's not that I don't trust you, it's how are you going to take care of it? Like, are you going to always have a cold room for my Vocaloid and anime figures? Like, you can't have it warm, because if you have the temperature too warm, this is gonna, like, melt, because it's made out of clay. It's gonna melt. It's gonna get ruined. You can't have this near sunlight. You have to clean these. You can't just, like, dust it. Not like that. No. You have to clean it a certain way. Are you gonna have time to clean all my figures? Like, I'll probably have, like, 200 something figures in the future. Like, are you gonna have time to clean all of my anime figures from top to bottom, take them out of their stands, clean the little holes that they sit in? It's stuff like that that really makes me think, like, you really have to be dedicated to take care of my stuff once I'm gone. And, like, even, like, with my Vocaloid plushies, you can't throw them in the washer or the dryer, because I'm afraid that, see how loose this is? I have to, like, hot glue it. I'm afraid that if you put it in, like, I'm afraid, like, this stuff might like, rip, because this is very loose, because she is very old. I've had her for 6 years, this one, I believe. Yes, because I got her in 2014 for my 14th birthday, so she is, like, 6 years old. Well, actually, is she? Yes, no, wait. I think she would be, wait, let me think. Oh, no, she's 7 years old. My apologies, because, yes, she is 7 years old now, and you can tell she's, like, she's a little bit dirty, but I usually hand wash my Vocaloids, and there's a certain way I do it. And I don't want anyone, let's say if I was to give this to someone, I don't want them to just throw it in the washer. I want them to clean it the way I did, even, like, get all this, like, fuzz stuff off. And don't worry, guys, I will make a video of how I clean my Vocaloid plushies once I get a new fuzz cleaner, because the one I have doesn't work. And the other one I have is packed, so I think I'll just buy a new one. And I will show you guys how I clean my Vocaloid plushies. But you have to know how to take care of my stuff, even with, again, like, see how these are in their boxes? I take them out from time to time, no problem. But if you're going to, let's say, I give you, like, on the will, let's say I gave you permission to take care of this stuff, do not throw out the boxes. Do not have this near sunlight. Do not treat it like a toy. Do not play with it like a toy. It's not a toy. It's not an action figure. It's just there for display. Keep it in the box if you have to. Make sure the box is in good condition. I swear, do not throw out the box. Even with this Vocaloid calendar, just make sure it stays, nice and safe. even like with my Pokemon cards, keep the boxes. Even with those Vocaloid books over there, those Vocaloid books were like $40 each, and I have 4 of them back there. So, you know, it's so hard to explain this to people when I say just take care of it. People, that's another thing. Like, I feel like if I was to give like my Vocaloid stuff and my anime stuff and even maybe my mangas, it's like, are you really committed to your promise? Like, are you really going to say what you said? Like, are you really going to keep your promise and actually have the time in your life to take good care of my, like, stuff? Like, even my movies. I never take them out. I keep them in the good, like, stuff. Like, you have to really take care of my stuff. I know it sounds really dumb, and some of you might be saying, well, I can take care of that. No problem. It's a lot of work to take care of my stuff, and that's what I'm afraid of, is that people won't have the time in their life to take good care of my, like, Vocaloid figures or my plushies or, like, even that mug. I don't even know, but... And it's something I always just get so upset because, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too protective of my stuff in that I can't let go. There are some things I have no problem, like, letting go, like my laptop. I'm sure I'll just give that to someone, whoever wants it. Like, it's a MacBook Pro 13-inch. That thing's like, 10 to 11 years old now, and it works fine. I use it to watch YouTube videos and to edit my videos on iMovie, and that's it. I don't use it for anything else, and I honestly love that thing. I don't really need a fancy laptop. Like, But even, like, some of my Pokemon cards, like, the ones in my binders, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, like, my GX and EX and, special cards. Not really sure what I'm going to do with those, but I've seen people and how they take care of their Pokemon cards, so I'm not too worried about that. But some of those cards are pretty special. Some of the cards in that binder I have had since elementary school, from high school to college, and I'm grown up now. I have a job, and I've kept them all these years, so I've had those cards for like 11 years now, and they're so special to me. Because again, from elementary school, because I got them, that's when I started collecting, was in grade 4, so 2010, and I've had them all these years, and it's hard to think about this stuff. Some of you might be saying, well, who cares? It's just stuff. Why should I care? Just give it to someone, give it to an auction, burn it if you have to. I don't know. I don't want to do that. I kind of just want to, like, if I die and not know, like, what's going to happen to this or this, how is this going to get treated once I'm gone? And I know it sounds so dumb. Like, why do you even care? Like, once you're dead, you're dead. But there's this thing, I'm not even sure if it's real, but my mom always said that there's a day when we're all going to come back, and I think it's called Judgment Day. And it's when we all come back to Earth again. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, if that's real, not sure if it is, even if it is or isn't, if I do come back to Earth, like, I'd like to be with my stuff again. And I know it sounds so dumb, and I'm sorry if this is so stupid and very confusing, but it's just something I think about every single time I buy this type of stuff. Because it's like, the more you collect, it's like, what the hell am I going to do with all of this? Because eventually I will run out of room, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this stuff. And it's so, like, exhausting. Some of you might be saying, well, you're overreacting, you're crazy, why does it even matter? Just get rid of it, give it to someone. Again, guys, you have to be really dedicated to taking care of my stuff. This is not just action figures. They sit, they stay, they don't get moved unless if you have to clean them or if you want to move them or reposition them. You do not mess around with this stuff, especially my Vocaloid stuff. Vocaloid stuff means a lot to me. Like, if you've seen that video with my Vocaloid collection, I have a lot of Vocaloid merch. And the Vocaloid merch is my most prized possession that I own. And God forbid, if you were to, like if you were to break this or destroy that mug or rip her or, like, even, like, I don't know what the hell you would do to this thing. If you were to mess with my Vocaloid merch, I swear, I would be so mad at you because I don't know. I think it's because, again, if you've seen my video where I talk about how Hatsune Miku has impacted my life, I have a very emotional, deep, like, kind of like comforting thing with Hatsune Miku, and I find that the Vocaloid merch is really special to me because it's what makes me really happy in life. Because the thing with me is that I'm an introvert, you know. I like to be by myself and stuff like that. I don't mind people, but, you know, I'm also a Pisces, so that means I'm a big daydreamer. But the thing with me is that I don't rely on people to make me happy. And call me selfish, call me stupid, whatever. Call me crazy if you want. But I rely on, like, inanimate objects like this, you know, any of this stuff, except for the perfume, because it's just there. But it's stuff like this that really just makes me happy in life. Like, I don't need a lot of money. I don't need a fancy car. I don't need a rich, you know, partner to make me happy in life. It's stuff like this. I'm a nerd. This is my hobby. This is my treasure. These are my most prized possessions, and if you're not going to take care of it the way I have when I'm alive, if you're just going to disrespect my stuff once I pass on, that's just a big slap in the face to me because I take very good care of my stuff. And yes, I know she looks a little dirty, but again, I have to get the fuzz cleaner. I usually wash her, but without the fuzz cleaner, I can't really clean her the way I want to, but it's so hard to talk about this because I'm trying not to make it sound confusing, but at the same time, it's so hard to talk about because I've asked people and they always give me the same answer. Well, just give it to someone. You'll have kids someday, just give it to them. That's another thing I want to talk about. I do not want kids. That's another problem I have. It's not that I don't like kids, I think kids can be fine. But not everyone wants to have kids, and you have to accept that. Do not force people to have kids. If they don't want to have kids, butt out or screw off. Honestly, I am so sick and tired of people saying, oh, well, you'll change your mind someday. No. When my mind is set on something, I'm 100% positive. Like, I know I don't want to go back to college, but people always think that, oh, you'll go back to college, you're young. Trust me, if I didn't want to be there in the first place, what makes you think I want to go back? And it's so annoying. I do not want kids. Even if I had kids, no. I'm sorry if that sounds really mean, but no. Not even my cousins are gonna get my stuff, not even my best friend, even though I love my friends to death. Like, my online friends are great, like, but it's just that, it's like, if I give it to you, okay, that's fine. If you take care of it, that's cool. But what happens when you pass on? Who are you going to give it to next? And yes, I know it sounds so dumb and I'm thinking too much about it, but it's like, I want to make sure this is going to be in good hands when I'm gone. And again, I know it sounds so confusing, and I'm probably rambling on about stuff that sounds so stupid, but oh my god. I'm trying not to get too worked up because this thing makes me so stressed when I talk about it, but I just want to make sure my stuff is going to be taken care of. Some of you might be saying, well, that's nice, like, that's really sweet of you, even though they're just, like, you know, fake, but you know, stuff like this, these little two guys, I love them to death. I don't know what I'm going to do with these two, but I don't know. I really love the Glaceon one because Glaceon is my favorite Eevee evolution. It's my second favorite Pokemon too. But maybe something like this I might be able to part with. Maybe not these two, but if I had like other Pokemon plushies, like my Pikachu plushie, not the big one my best friend got me. That one's really special to me because I love it to death. These two, I don't think I could part with. Well, my other Pokemon plushies I might be able to part with because, I don't know. But stuff like this, I don't know. But you have to be committed. You have to take care of this thing as if, like, you have to take care of these as if it was your own child. Like, that's how I see my Vocaloid figures and anime stuff. Like, I don't want kids. I don't have any kids. I don't plan on having kids. I just maybe want a pet dog in the future, and that's it. Like, people who collect things, like anime nerds, Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, My Little Pony, whatever you want to call your fandom. People who collect. I understand you guys. Like, people think we're crazy when we keep the boxes or we buy a ton of figures of the same thing, just different condition. I get it. It's because we are very passionate about the thing that we are deeply connected to, or that something we support 100%. And I totally get you guys. And maybe that's just me, or maybe people just don't think like this. Like, I don't know. I just really don't know what I'm gonna do with this stuff. Like, I was thinking maybe one option would be, like, once I pass on someday, maybe I could send my Vocaloid and anime stuff and maybe Pokemon stuff to Japan, because I know that stuff is heavily very popular in Japan versus in Canada. I mean, yes, there are some anime and Vocaloid fans in Canada, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure there's more in America, but I feel like in Japan it would get more, not like more recognized, but, you know, a higher chance of someone wanting to take care of it, because I've seen, like, videos of people showing off their anime rooms and their anime collection and Vocaloid collection, and I just love seeing their collection and how neat and tidy it is, like, even in, like, English or Japanese, whoever owns it. It's just so satisfying to me when I see how people take good care of their stuff, and that's what I want. I want these to stay in good condition for a long time. I want these to stay safe. I want them to be in a glass case, which I am going to get in the future once the new house is built. I want a glass case for these and stuff. Like, I want those to take, like, good, I want them to be taken good care of. And, again, I know it sounds really dumb thinking about, you know, inanimate objects and anime figures. Like, to some it might seem pretty dumb, but to me, it's something I just want to know, like, it's going to be okay. Because I've always noticed that growing up, I always need to know, like, what's going to happen in my day, like, kind of like a schedule. Even with school, I always had to know what we were going to learn, like, what the day was going to be like, and if something got switched with something else, it would just completely, like, throw me off for some reason. Because I think it's because I just like having a schedule, and I always like to know, like, what's going to happen. It's weird. Like, even at my job, I like to know ahead of time. Like, I'll text my boss. I'll be like, hey, what do you want me to do? Like most of the things I do with cleaning is cleaning an apartment, cleaning the floors, or vacuuming or mopping. Like, 3 things. Well, yeah, maybe, you know, a few things. I don't know. I just always like to be ahead of myself and just, you know, like to be prepared. Like, I remember this one thing my mom said to me when my pet fish died. And if you guys don't know about that story, my pet fish Pika died a week before Christmas, and I was very upset. And my mom said to me, you know, like, you should be very proud of yourself. And I was like, why should I be proud of myself? And she was like, because you took such good care of your pet fish. Like, you always made sure someone came by to feed them, even if we were gone for 2 days, you always made sure their tank was clean. You just always made sure those fish were taken care of. And that's very true. I didn't really think about it until she told me that. Like, that's a very big quality trait of mine, is that I'm always going to make sure that something is taken care of, even if it's, like, a friend, an animal, or my pet fish, or, you know, stuff, like, anything, like, honestly, when I was in college, and my friend, my roommate, she would always have a problem to tell me or have advice for me, like, you know, like, what should I do? And anytime she knocked on my door, I would stop what I was doing, take out my headphones, close the laptop, and make her sit on my bed, and I would just listen to her for hours, listen to her problems. I always, like, it didn't matter what I was doing, like homework or whatever, watching a YouTube video, I always stopped what I was doing and, you know, took the time out of my life to make sure her problems were met and that they were taken care of. Because that's just, I don't know, that's just me being a good friend, but that's just something I've always noticed about me. Like, I will make sure you are taken care of. I will make sure your problems are taken care of. I will not stop until I know that you are going to be okay. And I think that's kind of like with these things, like, I need to know that these are going to be okay in the future. I need to know that someone's going to take very good care of them. I need to know that that person is 100% committed of taking care of my stuff. Anime, Vocaloid, whatever, Pokemon cards, Nintendo Switch, mugs, it's not something to joke around about, because I take very good care of my stuff. Like, I don't know why, but maybe it's just because I'm an anime freaking Vocaloid nerd, whatever you want to call it. I'm just a big nerd, and I'm very precise on how I take care of things. Anyone who collects anime figures or, stuff like this and takes very good care of them can probably relate of how much work it is to take care of anime figures, because you have to clean them, you have to dust them, you always have to make sure you have room, you have to keep the boxes. You have to be very careful with them, especially the Nendroids. I hear that they come apart very easily, but I don't know. I just like to make sure my stuff is I always keep my stuff in good condition. I don't know, it's just the way I am, and I'm a Pisces. You would think I'm a Virgo, but I'm not. I'm a Pisces. But fun fact, the opposite sign to a Pisces on the chart is actually a Virgo. So I guess I got a little bit of Virgo in me. But then again, I feel like if you're a Pisces, you have every little quality trait of each zodiac sign, because Pisces is the oldest sign on the chart. We are the 12th sign. We represent death. We are ruled by Neptune. We're such big dreamers, and I think that's another thing. I'm just such a dreamer, and I'm always thinking all the time. So, I don't know. Sorry if this is just off topic, but it's just the way I am. But maybe if I do, like, when I die someday, trust me, I'm not planning on killing myself. It's just something I think about every time I buy this stuff. I buy it, and then I'm like, shit, what am I going to do with this? Because the more you buy, you just don't know what to do with it after. I don't know. But I don't want to give it to anyone. I don't trust anyone with it. Like, you have to earn it. You have to prove it to me. Like, I would have to, like, watch you. I would have to see how you clean it, and if you mess up, I'm just like, no. I don't know, call it overprotective. Maybe that's just my problem. Or maybe I just can't let go, because it's mostly, again, it's the Vocaloid stuff that I really have a tough time with. Anime figures, I don't want to get rid of. No. Well, I don't know. But I think that's my problem. It's just that I'm just so overprotective. Even, like, with my friends, I'm just so protective and stuff like that. Like, hell, I don't even know what I'm going to do with my YouTube channel in the future. But honestly, I think once I pass on the YouTube channel, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I don't really want anyone else to run it. Because it's just a channel, honestly. Like, I'm not the biggest YouTuber on the platform, and I don't care about being the best. Honestly, I'm more concerned about what I'm going to do with this stuff more than myself, like, once I pass on. I don't know. Some stuff I can get rid of, like, again, like, some of the, less interesting Pokemon cards I can part with, like, no problem. Some of my Pop Funkos I think I can part with, not the Vocaloid ones, though. Not those ones. But, I think, like, some of the toys I grew up, I think I can part with that and stuff like that. But it's mostly the anime and Vocaloid stuff I just can't part with. I'm sorry, but I feel like, I don't know. I think like if you're done, like, how I think like when rich people die, they have like it's almost like a miniature little like thing built on top of their grave, it's almost like a fancy little house almost, but that's for like the super rich. Maybe what I was thinking is that I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but maybe if I do die that way, and if I get something like that built over my grave, it's almost like a little house almost on top of your grave. Maybe I could just have that, like, my special stuff put in there? I don't know. It's either that or, I guess, send it to Japan where it'll be, like, appreciated more, because Hatsune Miku and anime, this is, like, very popular in Japan, so I feel like it wouldn't be as hard to find someone who would properly take care of that stuff, because it's very well known in Japan. And I don't know, I've had people say, like, well, why don't you just burn it and put it in your ashes? I'm like, that might be, I don't know, because it's like, what if they do come back to Earth, like that Judgment Day my mom was talking about? It's like, I don't really want that stuff to be burned if they do come back to Earth. because I kind of want it to be there when I come back. I'm not sure if that's real. I'm not really too big on, you know, that type of topic, religion, you could say. Even though I was baptized as Christian, just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I have to care about religion. I'm not so big on the Bible. I just don't have any connection with it, and that has, if you're like into that type of stuff, good for you. Just people who are religious, don't force your religion on to other people, you know, just saying. That's just my opinion. I don't know where the hell, or like what the hell happens to us when we die, or if we even do come back, but I just want to, I know, I wish we could take this stuff to us when, I honestly wish I could just take all this stuff with me when I die, but money I don't care about. That's, like, who gives a crap about money, honestly. I'm more concerned about what the hell I'm going to do with this stuff. And I'm sorry if this video is like 31 minutes long. I talk too much, but I just wanted to talk about this problem I've been having. And please let me know if you guys feel this way with like your anime figures or Vocaloid figures. I can't be the only one who thinks about this, because I've done research, and every time I watch a video about, like, you know, like what to do with your stuff once you die, it's always, well, just give it to someone, make sure it goes through the court, make sure, like, you know, the case has been completed, make sure this person is on the list of taking care of your stuff. And I'm like, you're not really helping me with my answers, because I haven't seen one video that says, oh, this is what you can do with your stuff if you don't want anyone to own it once you pass away. I feel like I'm the only person who's dealing with this problem. And again, I know I'm thinking ahead of myself. I'm not dying. But if I was to die like any day, I'd like to be at least prepared. Like, as soon as I know what the hell I'm going to do with this stuff, I'll feel much better. Because I don't want to die one day. Like, let's say I got stabbed, or if I was, like, in a car accident. I don't want to die and not have regrets of not, you know, making sure this goes to a good home or a good place, or at least making sure this is going to be okay. Because, I don't know, I just have a lot of fun memories with this stuff, and I love this stuff to death. These are like my babies. These are like my crown jewels and my crown, whatever you call. This is basically my happiness right here. This is my treasure. Inanimate objects, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't give a crap. I'm sorry if I don't rely on people for happiness. I'm sorry if I get happiness out of this than I do with people, but I think it's because I've been hurt so many times, and I always get let down by people, and I'm just so tired of people always messing with my feelings, or toying with my feelings, or breaking promises they can't keep. I've dealt with it too many times in my childhood, honestly. And even on the internet, I get so screwed over by people. It's so annoying. It's either people are lying to me, faking their debts, or using me just to get, like, followers out of me. It's so damn annoying. It's like, you don't know who the hell you can trust. And, like, it even rubs off in me, like even in real life, I can trust people. I just can't trust you enough to take care of my stuff. Like, if you're in the same business as I am, like, if you like to take care of your anime figures and Vocaloid figures, hey, maybe you might be suitable. It's just, you have to be committed. Like, if I have 200-something anime figures in the future, are you really going to have time to, you know, clean every single one of them? Like, you have to clean them a certain way. You can't just dust it. But, I already know I said that. I'm aware of it, but it's so hard being a nerd. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys know what you want to do with your anime or Vocaloid stuff or whatever. If you guys have someone, great. I'm glad you have someone you can think of. Again, I don't want kids, I don't want to get married, so I feel like my problem's just a little bit more complicated than most people, because, I don't know. I have no one. I'm not like, you know, that type of thing. I just, I don't know. Sorry if this is a really long video. I didn't really mean to get into too much detail about this stuff, but I just don't know what to do with this. It's like, what the hell? Because, I mean, how the hell could I get rid of this? It's so freaking cute. It's the only Miku plushie I own. Ugh. I hate this. Because it's like the more I buy and the more I look at it, it's just like, frick, like, what the hell am I going to do with you? I don't know. Maybe I'll meet someone in my life that I can fully trust. I don't know, it's frick. So that's today's topic. Sorry if it was kind of depressing and very complicated and confusing, but It's just something that's been on my mind for a long time now. Mostly when I started collecting Vocaloid stuff, that's when I kind of started thinking about it. But let me know in the comments if you guys are having this type of problem or if I'm just really crazy and overthinking it. I'm sorry, it's just the way I am. I just like to know that things are going to be okay ahead of time. It's just the way I am. But yeah, let me know if you guys are having, I don't know, the same thing as me or what. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I would really like your advice of what maybe I could do with this stuff. I don't know, but yeah, thank you for watching this video. Sorry if it was long, and have a nice day. Goodbye.